Good morning and welcome to vlog number 22. Today we're going to talk about stored emotions, how they build up, and how you can actually heal and transform them. So if you go back to my video number 1, which was reposted again a couple of weeks ago with new captions, it will explain to you how we learn to get imprinted. So that gets us the learning how to actually be an adult in the world. This is why they know that we're actually predominantly observational learners. We monkey see, monkey do. So if you go back to that video, get fresh in your mind exactly what's going on and how we do the whole attachment to make sure that we're provided for in food, shelter and clothing. But what happens from there, as that little child, we store things inside of our bodies when we're not brave enough, or we're concerned that by saying something we're literally going to be rejected by our parents or our primary caregivers. So let's just say you didn't get an A in your school report. You hide it from your parents and somehow it gets through and they don't get to see it. You did that because you didn't want to get criticism from them, which your little mind more than likely would have stored as a rejection. So what happens is you store that cellularly, literally in your cellular memory and your subconscious mind in your beautiful body. So as that little child, we have these little bits that build up, and then as we become a teenager, and then there's hormones involved and we're growing more, and we're actually possibly going over to other people's homes and seeing how their life is probably different to ours. So that's what brings a lot of this stuff to the surface. So a lot of people say, oh, teenagers is a terrible time. It's not a terrible time if you actually see them, if you can actually be present for them and enable them to know that it's actually okay to feel those feelings, because when you feel them, you literally heal them. But then if we haven't done that, we haven't had a safe place or a safe person to share that with in our teenage years, what happens is it builds up and becomes literally Mount Vesuvius for us as an adult. So in that, when we store them, it becomes disease. It creates disconnection firstly from ourselves, because we don't trust ourselves, we don't feel brave enough, we don't feel good enough or worthy enough to actually say how we feel. We feel quite enmeshed in toxic kind of relationships where we don't feel that we can speak our truth, and we feel a bit depressed. This is why there's so many teenagers and adults actually on medication for these kind of emotions. So we can feel fear, shame, abandonment, scarcity, because we haven't given ourselves the gift of being able to feel everything, because that's the MO of being humans, just in case you didn't get the memo. It's about feeling, but not allowing those feelings to run and ruin your life like our little inner child often does. It likes to sit in the driver's seat and lock you as the adult in the boot, because it doesn't trust anyone, because it's been operating from this place of unexpressed emotions for so long. So what happens when we have a great therapist, we start doing some work on ourselves, we really start reflecting on what's not actually working in my life. We can transform fear into joy, shame into happiness, scarcity into peace, and abandonment into love. I'm going to give you an example of my abandonment issue. I disattached my mother from myself for 5 years because I felt like she was very controlling in my life and she was too enmeshed in my world. So I stepped away, and in that time I did massive deep dives and massive amounts of self-development. I can't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars I spent on retraining myself, learning really healthy, productive ways to do things and how to transform all of the stories that I'd created as that little girl. But anyway, after 5 years, had this experience that transpired, and my mum showed up, and we sat on my couch for like probably 5+ hours for the day. And I sat and I told her very, very honestly and openly all of those unexpressed emotions from my childhood and my adulthood up until that point, how I'd felt about them, being compared to my elder brother, why I wasn't scholastically as good as he was, the responsibility of washing, ironing, cooking, cleaning for a family of 6 at the age of 12 was on my lap, all of those things. And then I sat with her and I asked her, Mum, tell me about your childhood. And when she expressed to me what her conversations were with her mum, that number one, her mother didn't want her because her dad, well, her husband was away at war again, and this just meant another child for her to raise. Meanwhile, she was a child of 14 and one of the eldest girls, so she had already raised her siblings. Her firstborn was passed away. Then she had another child who was 10 years older than my mum. So grandma was exhausted. She was done with the whole child rearing. It was all like, what about me? She was singing that song. So what happened is when I understood that and I really heard mum and I was so present for her, that was the day I became in love with my mum, because I got that she wasn't actually abandoning me. She abandoned herself because she felt abandoned by her mum, who'd obviously felt abandoned by her mum. So it's not about blame. It's about seeing these patterns of behavior build up and all of these unexpressed emotions get stuck deep down in our beautiful body. So I learned that mum was the perfect teacher and I was the perfect student, and I let all of that stuff go. I literally let go of 12 kilos in 7 days. No, it was 5 days. 12 kilos in 5 days, because that's how deep I went with this work. So I want to encourage you to please express yourself with your truth in a loving way, not to attack people, but just to share how you are really feeling, because the truth will set you free, and you can heal yourself by simply being yourself authentically. I hope you've liked this. Please hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much to the 101 subscribers that I've gained already. I'm so grateful that I'm trusting this as of value. And again, please like and share if you feel it's of value to someone else. Have a great day.